Hey, how are you? Welcome back to another video. So in the last few days I've made some decisions. One of them is to get the interior and the engine bay sandblasted, which on one hand I didn't want to do it at first because I was scared of all the sand getting in all the crevices, all the holes in the frame rails and so on. But after talking to my body shop friend, he told me that it's not that bad. So that's what I'm gonna do. Obviously that means that I have to prepare the car a lot more. So I had to cut out the rear window, which I did today with a friend of mine. He came over and took the rear window off without cracking, which is amazing. I tried to take the small rear windows out, but I can't seem to do it and I don't want to crack them. So I might just leave them in. If they get blasted with sand for a bit from the inside, doesn't matter. So I don't want to touch the outside of the car with sand at all. Only the two spots where the windows come. And yeah, today I also cut out the spare wheel well, is that what it's called? I don't know, this thingy in the trunk. Because to get to the diff, hi, I'm here. Because to get to the diff, it was really difficult and you had to undo all the suspension bolts to drop the axle from the suspension to get it low enough to get the diff out. I want to make it as simple as possible, so I cut out a hole here and basically came up here to have more space to get to the diff bolts and then the diff out of the housing. And now to get the car to be easier to move around, I'm gonna take the diff out because it's a welded one and I wanted to do a revision on it before the season anyway. So I'm gonna drain the fluid, take the axles a bit out, drop the diff and then put the axles back so I have the wheels. I will not get the trunk sandblasted because I know that in the trunk there will be a lot of work still done after the car will be somewhat ready. So I will mount the fire suppression system in the trunk, the power steering pump. That's why I don't want to make it pretty. The trunk will not be visible anyway, so I'm gonna make the interior and the engine bay nice, but the trunk will be left untouched. That's a huge goal of mine with building this car. With a lot of experience already from the past seasons, I want this car to be as simple to work on as possible. So during an event, during a competition especially, when you don't have much time to work on the car, I want it to be everything to be as easily accessible as possible. That's why I'm doing the diff thing. That's why I cut out the front wheel well in the engine bay. I just want everything to be as simple and as accessible as possible. Oh yeah, I need to take the brake calipers off anyway to get the axle out, so I'll just leave them off, I'll unscrew the hoses and I will send the calipers to get redone. I'm pretty sure they were not touched for as long as I own the car, so that should be done. So let's get to it. Also, I fucking love those rally stands. Those are worth every penny. Now, very simple job. Only 4 bolts hold the whole axle. Alright, so it still is not a clear view to the top 3 bolts. The rest I would get easily with an impact. So as you see, there's 2 pieces of metal. There's this one, which I cut off, and then there's an additional, which is the reinforcement for the panhard rod. So the panhard rod mounts here. For now, I will cut this piece as high as possible, so basically up to here. So this is the lowest point, and I will see how difficult it will be to get there with a socket wrench. I think I will make a reinforcement from the frame rail to this piece of metal to reinforce the place where the panhard rod is mounted to. Nice, not that bad actually. And the welds as well. I don't see any cracks. Yeah, we good. We are good, ladies and gentlemen. Good thing I checked it now, because those are already twisted, so they don't have much life left in them, so they are throwaways. That got me kind of worried now, because that means that it's not that amazing, it's not that strong as I thought. I mean, those two held up for like 2 years of abuse and they didn't snap. So they are twisted a bit, but they did not snap yet. So now I'm thinking if I should go with some stronger diff and axles, or if I should keep it and try to make them work. I have 3 spare ones, so I could just use those. And you know, Outrace, for example, that's an event where I won't run semi-slick tires. I'll be driving 225 street tires there, because there's no reason in putting semi-slicks on for an event like that. That got me kind of worried now. I'll have to think about it. Alright, so the car is back on its wheels. It's very maneuverable, is that a word? Tomorrow I'll have to call to the sandblasting guy. If the weather's alright and he has the space, he'll take the car and sandblast it. I'm pretty sure he'll do it in one day. So maybe in the evening I'll be able to take the car back, start cleaning the sand basically. And once that is done, it's ready for paint. In other news, as you might see, as you might see, a package came today, which I am extremely excited about, because that's of one of our supporters for this season, and it's ECU Master. And here are some components that are going to help us get the build to a higher level. And I want to give a huge shout out to ECU Master and Max for helping me to get this build to the level I could only dream about. Yeah, let's open the package and show you what's in there. And yes, I know I need to clean all this up, but usually when I get the motivation to work on the car, I don't really have the motivation to clean it up. When I take the car to sandblasting, then it will be more spacious and I'll clean it up then. Let's dig into the package. So, that's a hint. What's in the package is a EMU Black and a ADU. I do have a ECU Classic, which I got from my friends for birthday. It was a great gift and I'm really appreciative about it. But now thinking forward, the EMU Black has basically everything built in. Upgrading to the black makes my life easier in the future. So basically I'm now upgrading, paying a little bit more, but in the future I don't have to worry about anything if I want to add a, I don't know, electric throttle body, which I don't want to do, but maybe in the future. But adding the ADU, if you would add the ADU to the Classic, you would have to have another module for this. So everything that you would have to buy a module for the Classic, the Black has in it already. So yeah, that's one thing. And the other thing is a ADU. I got the 5-inch version because I don't think the 7-inch version would actually fit in the stock dash of the Volvo. So, as I said, we have the ADU, so the screen, so the ECU Master 5-inch screen. That's really nice. I didn't know it has the LEDs there. That's also a nice feature. I'm stoked about that. That is sick. And there we go. That's a nice unit as well. So yeah, now with those parts, with the help of ECU Master, this build is getting it again on another level with all the control, with all the additional capabilities of the ECU. It'll just elevate the level of the build. So again, big thank you to ECU Master for the help, for supporting me this season. This is gonna help me tremendously to push the build forward, to finish it sooner. So yeah, once again, thank you to ECU Master and Max for the help with getting it all buttoned up. Alright, so it's another day. Basically a few days later, I have prepped the entire chassis. It's completely ready for sandblasting. So yeah, now what I'm doing is prepping the shifter plate. So that's actually one thing that I really like doing, is making stuff from nothing. So I made those templates, because I have this shifter plate, which I got cut out to fit the Odessa CNC hydro and shifter. So the shifter will be basically inside here, you know that. The hydro will be, not on this side, but on this side. The hydro will be bolted somewhere here. I still will find the perfect spot for it and the perfect angle, you know. But since I want to paint the car as soon as it's sandblasted, I need to prep everything that needs to be welded in the car, because I don't want to later on cut and weld in the car after it's painted. I want the plate to sit level like this, so I had to make 3 pieces of steel to weld to the bottom of this and then weld to the chassis. I made 2 such pieces of steel, which will be on the 2 sides. I made this one, which will be in the back. It won't be straight, but it will be on an angle, because there will be a lot of force on the handbrake. So I wanted to move the forces more backwards and on a different angle, so the forces are, I don't know, I can visualize it in my mind that those forces will work differently and it will be more stable, but I can't explain why it is like this. Right, I'm back. I had to go out and get some errands done, so I was gone for a few hours. But I brought back something that the guys who did my cage managed to fabricate for me really quickly. In the morning I measured how wide the frame rail is, and they made me a bar that's going to work as part radiator support and part front jacking point. This thing will go under here, under the frame rail. Obviously it will be way shorter. They also made me this little thing, and they notched it off for me already, so it sits nicely on top, and this will work as a front jacking point. But yeah, I'll worry about this at the end. First, I wanna mock those up, and then I'll do some welds, put it all together. After that, I'll just need to drill the holes for the hydro, and this will be it. This will be finally done. Okay, so just to be clear, I've never done anything like this. That's the first time I'm fabricating anything of that sort. So if you're watching this and you're thinking, damn, I wish I had the skill to do such things on my own car, I don't have the skills. So if this works out, you can do it as well. I hope this works out. Look at that. Ta-da! There we go. I need to cut out here a piece of this so it sits lower, so it's more flush, and then it should be fine. I'm going to cut out the excess that sticks out. I'm so happy. Bro. Does it look sick? I mean, it will look sick when I finally get it done, but that's something, right? It's a step forward. Why is it, what? Where are you going? My eyes are up here. So yeah, that maybe for most people that's nothing, but for me that's a big deal, okay? I cut and welded something myself and it fucking fits. Alright, so it has to cool down now, but some of those welds I'm actually fucking proud of, you know? Like, they are not bad for the first welds that I actually pulled, because usually I was just, you know, spot welding or stitch welding, so I was doing point, 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 point. I never like pulled a weld And for the first ones, not too bad, honestly, not too bad. Like, obviously I'll grind this down so it's all nice and smooth. Okay, so the car is ready to get sandblasted. I left those few sound deadenings because I don't have the time to do it now, and I want to get it sandblasted up to here, so up to the point where the firewall will be. I want to keep the rear of the car. I don't want to put work into it because ultras, lots of walls, competitions, lots of walls. I do not want to put any work into the back of the car, which is going to get smashed up anyway. The plan is to, in the future, cut it out completely. So once I inevitably, is that a word? Once I inevitably crash the car, I will cut out the back of the car, make fiberglass everything. But yeah, tomorrow I'm taking the car to get sandblasted. For today's video, that would be it. I hope you enjoyed it. Please tell me in the comments, what do you want to see more? Do you want to see more of the work on the car? You want me to talk more? Some friends say they like if I explain more, talk to the camera more. I don't really like it myself to talk to the camera, obviously. But yeah, please let me know. What do you prefer? But yeah, for this video, that's it. Have a good night or whatever time it is when you're watching it. Yeah. Bye. I can do outros.